Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Air Day Sling and Day Sling Max, which are some really sleek and minimal everyday carry solutions. Like the Flight Pack 3 and the Travel Pack 3, these are part of Air's recently updated travel collection. In general, I always prefer carrying a backpack over sling bags, as I've mentioned many times in the past, but Air always manages to make some really sleek and interesting looking sling bags as well. Particularly as part of a travel collection, sling bags are an excellent solution as a companion to a larger travel bag, or even something that you can toss into the travel backpack to use when you reach your destination. So I've been excited to have a chance to test these out over the past couple of months. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience using them. I'll show you how I've loaded them out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how they compare to some of the other sling bags that are currently on the market. Before diving into the video, I want to thank the company for sending the slings for me to test out. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, both of these have a very similar feel and style to many of Air's other products. So they have kind of a modern minimalistic vibe, kind of techie looking, really sleek. And this is an aesthetic that I've become a big fan of over the years. It also reminds me a little bit of something like Air's Slim Pouch. It's particularly the smaller version of the Sling looks quite similar side by side. So it's a look that shouldn't feel super new, and I think that is a great thing because they have a very well established look and feel that I think is going to work well in a lot of different environments, whether you're exploring a city or wearing this with a nicer outfit to take into the office if you don't need to take a laptop with you. As far as the materials, both of these feel very well built. In the black version that I have here, you have a 1680D ballistic nylon, which has become very common in Air's bags. On all the ones that I've used over the years, it's always held up well. It looks like new on many of my bags still. It offers a ton of durability and weather resistance. I always feel comfortable when I happen to get caught in a little bit of rain. And you can get this in a heathered polyester, I believe. If you get it in the gray version, they also have an X-Pack fabric. But for me, the 1680D really offers a lot of durability without making the bags too heavy. And then you also have some really nice YKK zippers all throughout with aqua guards on these front zippers for additional protection against the elements. As far as the sizes, the Day Sling comes in at about 3 liters and the Day Sling Max comes in at about 6 liters. So depending on how much you need to carry with you, you have a nice variety there. You can see that the Day Sling Max is quite a bit taller than the regular Day Sling. You have some extra capacity. This is what allows the Day Sling Max to also hold a tablet, as we'll take a closer look at later in the video. And I think both of these sizes really work well for what a sling bag is intended to do, which is, provide you some extra capacity for stuff that you don't want to carry in your pockets, but that you also don't need a full-fledged backpack for. So if you need a little bit more space, you have more with you on your day-to-day, maybe some camera stuff, the 6 liter, is going to offer that space. And then if you have a very minimal EDC, you just have like a Nintendo DS or something, you're just walking around or going to maybe a theme park or something, the regular Day Sling size is going to offer a pretty good amount of capacity without feeling overwhelming. Continuing along the outside of the slings, both have a little loop here on the corner that's going to allow you to maybe hang this, on a hook in your office or your room when you're not using it, or just to allow you to pick it up off the ground or carry it. So this is a really interesting little loop. It's fairly thin. And then beyond that, you have handles at the top of the slings that are going to allow you to carry it, by the side if you don't want to wear it. The handle on the Day Sling Max is a little bit nicer than the one on the Day Sling. This one is just a pretty thin, standard sort of strap. But on the Day Sling Max, you have more of that Air style kind of seatbelt like cushioned handle. So this definitely feels a little bit more premium and comfortable. Taking a look at the strap, which is what really makes this a sling bag, you have a good length and amount of adjustability here. So depending on your height or where you like to wear the sling bag on your body, you have plenty of flexibility. Not a ton of padding on this strap. It is just a regular strap. So that's something with sling bags that I sometimes like to see, is when you have maybe a cushioned area. But with the size of these, particularly the smaller one, I really don't think that's a huge deal. Both of them feature this fidlock buckle, which is very easy to latch on and off. So you slide it down to release it, you can attach it. It has a pretty secure hold. Now, I did watch Bo Ismono's video recently where he talked a little bit about some of the challenges he's had with this when riding something like a motorcycle. So I'd recommend checking that out if that's something that you typically get around on and you want to just have another perspective. But for my activities, just walking around the city, I didn't really have any issues with these buckles, and I was able to slide the bag back and forth from my back to my front to grab whatever I needed without any issues. And then on the back of the slings, unfortunately, you don't really have a ton of breathability. Some sling bags now come with a little bit more kind of cushioning and maybe some mesh that's just going to make it sweat a little bit less on your back. I know Evergoods has included some interesting fabrics on their back paneling. Some of the slings from Instinct that we've looked at and that we'll be featuring also just provide, in my opinion, a little more comfort. Regardless, with a sling bag and the form factor that these have, they're still not going to be quite as sweat inducing as something like a backpack. So not as big of a deal with a sling bag, but with this larger one, when you're wearing it for a longer period of time, if you have it really packed out, I could still see a little bit of moisture start to build up. And then one final note on the strap is that you don't really have the ability to tuck it away anywhere, which is not a huge deal, particularly on the large bag, as this isn't really going to be a tech pouch or anything like that. But it's always nice when sling bags do offer that sort of capability of hiding the straps if you prefer to carry it like a briefcase. This is something that we've seen with the Tom Bin Le Grand Derriere, for example, where it is a little bit of a larger sling, but you can tuck those away. It also makes it easier to maybe pack into a bag. You don't have things getting tangled up. Jumping into the organizational layouts, both of these have a pretty similar pocket layout, and it's fairly similar to many of the other products that we've seen from Air. Even something like the City Sling, which is a little bit newer, is kind of similar to the Day Sling in particular, both in sizing and the amount of organization that's provided. The aesthetic is a little bit different. The size is not quite the same. They also have a different sort of main compartment in how it opens up. But it's another great alternative if you're looking for a pretty streamlined sling. And as I mentioned earlier, even the pocketing layout on something like the Air Slim Pouch is going to feel familiar to what we see as we go through the sling. So I'm going to try to kind of unload both of these as we go along, showcase the similarity and differences in their pockets. So first up, they have both a front zippered compartment with an aqua guard, which is going to be a great spot to grab those items that you need to get to a little bit more regularly. That aqua guard also gives a little more peace of mind for something that's more sensitive if you happen to get caught in some rain. So in the smaller Day Sling, in this compartment, I just tossed in my Apple AirPods, and then I also have a Swiss Army knife here. And this compartment has as well a little lanyard with a carabiner clip that's going to be a great spot to attach your keys or a multi-tool. We'll see that in the larger compartment as well. Again, you have a nice zipper garage here, zipper pulls to allow it to easily grab and open this compartment up. And then you have a little bit more volume in this one because of the size of the sling. So I actually chose to put my sunglasses here in the front, as that's something that I grab the most regularly during the day. Beyond that, the only other thing that I have in here at the moment is I actually have a little multi-tool attached to the same lanyard and carabiner that we saw on the smaller sling. On the back of both slings, you have a more hidden zippered compartment, which is a great spot to store something a little more sensitive, as this rests on your back or your front while you're wearing it. So this is going to be a good spot to put something like a passport or your wallet. Currently what I have in here is the Air card holder, which is one of my favorite travel wallets. It's a little bit larger, but it fits in there comfortably. Also a good spot for cash or maybe your phone. Not a whole lot going on in this compartment, and definitely something I wouldn't put something too bulky, as it might bulge out and make it a little bit uncomfortable to wear. And then on the smaller one, even though it's not quite as tall, I was still able to fit a Field Notes notebook, which is pretty close in size to a passport, if that's something that you want to store in there, or again, your wallet or some extra cash. And then moving into the main compartment, you have a nice wide opening here that allows you to place this down and easily grab whatever you need. Also, while you're wearing this, having this sort of visibility makes it easy to grab what you need quickly. And so nice internal organization and capacity, even on the smaller version, again, about 3 liters. This is going to be able to hold a water bottle or an umbrella. I chose to fill this up with some of the smaller items that I more commonly have with me. So diving in, just resting here kind of in this middle section, I have the Matador pocket blanket, which is nice to have if you go on a picnic or something like that. And then I have my sunglasses with their case in the main compartment, as it didn't really fit in this external pocket too well. And then on the front of the sling, you have 2 elastic slip pockets, which are great for tech accessories and such. So here I have
a portable battery that attaches to the back of my phone. It also has a stand. I featured this in a few videos, which I'll definitely link in the description below. And then I also have a charger for my phone. And then on the back, you have additional slip pockets, which I wasn't able to fill up completely as I just don't have that much stuff, especially spread between the two slings. But here on the left, I have just a little hand sanitizer, which is always good to have nowadays. And I really like the elasticity that's included in these slip pockets as it molds around the items that you store in here and just gives you a little more flexibility. Behind those, you have a zippered compartment, which is going to be a good spot for smaller items that you don't want getting lost. Didn't place too much in here. I just have a little stylus. This is going to be a good spot for little dongles, maybe memory cards, change, just stuff that, again, you want to be able to find easily. And then on the back of this, you have a slip pocket that isn't super padded, but it is nice to have some division from the rest of the items in the compartment. And this is going to be able to hold a Kindle very comfortably, as you see here. It is a little bit on the smaller size, so a tablet might be a tight fit, but you will also be able to fit maybe a Nintendo Switch. I believe I'm not much of a gamer, but if you look on Air's site, you can kind of see that fitting in there comfortably as well. Moving over to the main compartment on the Day Sling Max, one thing I'll mention here is depending on how you pack this out, because it has a pretty flat bottom, it might actually stand up fairly well on its own. So it's nice if you're working at a coffee shop or something, and kind of, reach in and grab whatever you need. And I did want to mention that these zippers on this aren't lockable, which isn't a huge deal to me. But this is the, part of the travel collection and something that you might be wearing on your back. So it might have been nice to include some additional sort of ability to lock here. I know you can kind of use the zipper pulls to either tie them together or use a cable lock, but just something worth calling out as Air has included the ability to lock zippers on some of their other travel line items. So opening the compartment up, this is definitely the size that I prefer among the two, as I just always like to have a little bit more capacity, particularly for bulkier items, whether it's umbrellas or water bottles, which do fit in the other one. That would have taken up almost the entire main compartment. Here I have a water bottle at the bottom, and as you can see, I still have leftover space here if I wanted to place, my drone or maybe a jacket I could have squeezed in there. So just always nice to have that extra sort of capacity, even if you don't end up using it. So at the moment here, just at the top, I have a Tom Bin Ghost Wheel pouch laying there, which has a lot of smaller accessories that I like to have with me. And then I have my GoPro, and down at the bottom, as mentioned, I have a 20-ounce water bottle, which is the one that you've seen in a lot of my other daily bag videos. Fits comfortably there. Anything larger than that I think might be a little bit too tight of a fit, and then you can see with it empty, you have a nice kind of wide open space where, again, this might be a good sort of makeshift camera bag or, for any other bulkier items that you need to carry. And then a similar layout here as we saw on the smaller slings. So you have slip pockets on the front. These are maybe just a little bit taller due to the larger size. And I, again, have just the cable to charge my tablet. And on the back, more slip pockets, same elastic material. At this one, I have a battery bank to just keep all my devices charged while I'm on the go. Next to that, I have my Apple Magic Mouse, which I recognize I probably wouldn't use with my tablet, but I just wanted to kind of showcase something else and how that might fit. You can see it's almost a little bit loose, so something to keep in mind if you happen to flip the sling bag upside down, but still nice to have that extra sort of capacity. On the back, again, you have a zippered pocket, which I really didn't use for much on this end, particularly because all of those items were in the Tom Bin Ghost Wheel pouch. And then on the back, you have a separate tablet sleeve. Similar to the smaller sling, it's not a super padded sort of compartment here, but it does offer some separation with the rest of the bag, so you can easily reach your device and prevent everything from rubbing up against it. This is meant to hold up to an 11-inch tablet. Currently what I have here is the iPad mini, which is a little bit smaller, but you could see there was leftover space. Now with the sleeve empty, you can get a better look. So no sort of fleece lining or anything like that. It doesn't have the same sort of upgrades that the rest of the travel line had as far as the laptop compartment, which is rigid and it has the fleece lining. But still, for the purposes of the sling and keeping it streamlined and lighter, at least it provides the separation that you need. And it's just, on both of these, a really nice variety of pockets and organization. And again, if you're looking for something super sleek, durable, and minimal that's going to be great for holding all the items that you might need to carry with you on your day-to-day, then these are going to be great options to check out.
And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the Day Sling and Day Sling Max over the past couple of months. You can currently purchase these on Air's site, starting at about $80 for the Day Sling and $95 for the Day Sling Max. This may vary a little bit depending on the materials that you pick. If you want to go with X-Pack, it's going to be a little bit more. In general, however, these feel like pretty reasonable prices considering the features and the build quality that they have to offer, and they also compare well to other similar slings in this price range. And so as I was testing these out, the first sling this made me think of is the Air Travel Sling 2, which to me is the sling bag for people like me that actually prefer using a backpack. It manages to offer a pretty decent amount of space. It can handle a laptop while still offering the same build quality, organizational options, and aesthetic of Air's other products. So it really strikes a nice balance. If you prefer more of a sling style carry, it has a very well padded strap. It gives you a little bit more capacity than what you would find in something like the Day Sling Max. This one isn't going to be able to hold a laptop. And again, just has a little bit more of a backpack feel with a sling style carry. It looks great, it's well built, and if you're looking for something with some extra capacity, but that's going to combine well with a suit or a nicer outfit, or you just prefer sling bags, then I definitely recommend you check that one out. The next sling these made me think of is the Alpaca Bravo Sling Max, which, like the Air Travel Sling that I just mentioned, is able to hold the laptop, so it's a little bit on the larger side, has a great build quality. I really love the organizational layout that it has, a very clean aesthetic. It's comfortable to wear, has enough space for a laptop and a tablet. And so if you're looking for something that's more of a full-fledged EDC solution, that's gonna give you some extra capacity and is not gonna be quite as small as these, and that's gonna be another great option to consider. Some other slings these made me think of are from Tom Bin. Like the Day Sling Max and the Day Sling, they have the Le Petit Derrière and the Le Grand Derrière. So they're two very similar style slings that just come in slightly different sizes. I really love the simple organizational layout that those offer. They have a great build quality. They have a little bit more of a kind of old school or outdoorsy vibe. So if you're not looking for something that's quite as sleek or technical feeling, and they also don't have quite as many organizational options. It's a little bit more simplified. I really like that you can, tuck the straps away, use that as a shoulder bag with a shoulder strap that's sold separately. You can use it as kind of a fanny pack if you need to. So you have some versatility there in how you can hold it, but very well built. And again, if you're looking for something that's not quite this sort of futuristic looking or that's going to be a little bit simpler, then those are going to be fantastic options to consider. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Instinct Pro Camera Sling Bag, which is a great solution if you normally like to have camera gear with you, if you have a camera body and maybe a lens or two, or you have your drone. It's a really nice minimal solution to be able to hold that comfortably. You can use it as a sling bag or as a fanny pack. It has highly weather resistant materials, aqua guarded zippers. It has a nice organizational layout, and it has a layout that you can also configure with removable dividers, as most camera solutions tend to have. So it's just a well-built sling bag that is going to be very comfortable. And again, if you need something that's going to keep your camera gear easily accessible and well protected, that's going to be a great option to take a look at. With that being said, the Air Day Sling and Day Sling Max hold up really well against all those options. And if you're looking for a durable and versatile sling that's going to offer a nice organizational layout and it's going to pair very well with any other travel gear that you might be carrying with you, then this is going to be a fantastic option to consider. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Day Sling series from Air and how they compare to some of the other popular sling bags that are currently on the market. And if there are any similar options that you think I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company again for sending the sling bags for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.